I wanted to say this for a long time. Ahoy, Praha!
Ahoy!
Vítejte na Credit Matters XIII. Hey, come on, 20 years in Brunei. A very, very warm welcome to thank you everybody so much for coming. We're just going to kick off with a few introductions and welcomes and set the scene for what's going to happen over the next few days. First of all, you'll see one of the things that's going to be, you'll see quite a lot, is that we're going to be changing our colour scheme, right? And we're starting to launch it today at Credit Matters XIII. So the purple is sadly going to be no more.
Aww.
But the good news is we're going to be changing to this rather natty black and white colour scheme. Okay, thank you. This is to represent how Callisto are positioning back, I should say, to being solution partners. This is what we always intended to do. Now we're really going to do more and more about solution partnering. And the black and white motif behind it really is to show that we're focusing on essentials, the things that are important, minimise the grey, really, keep things simple, and to bring clarity and simplicity where there is perhaps unnecessary complexity. Right, so as much as we can, there will be a bit of a changeover. We didn't get to change everything before the conference, but the majority of our slides now will be this rather natty black and white. Okay, so this is us now, so welcome. This is it. This is how it's going to look. Okay. So, some introductions. I think most of you know myself. This is my colleague Esther Gabrielle, who most of you have spoken to. So a big round of applause for Esther.
Some of you might know me as Esther or Mr. Gabrielle, but as you see, I'm Esther.
Yes, you've been many things. You've been Gabrielle and various.
Mr. Gabrielle,
Mr.
Esther.
Gabrielle,
Yes. I just think it's autocorrect.
But as you can see, definitely an Esther. And welcome to our team, our people that are in the purple. Esther, would you name them all, please?
So the guys in the purple are from Prague City University, and they're supporting us with video, photo, and making interviews. We also have some of our regular team members, Pavlina, Magdi. We have some new additions, Assad and Norman. Norman's actually not here, but she's responsible for our graphic designs. Yitka, as always, head of photography. And as always, or let's say for the 10th annual time, Clutch is supporting us with our AV.
Indeed. And John as well. Don't forget John as well in our academy.
Well, that's an addition.
That's an addition. We'll come back to that for sure.
And he's also presenting.
Indeed. Indeed. So, yes, so as we said, again, always a huge thank you to our technical team for putting this incredible room together. So a round of applause for them, please. These guys are back here. We've worked with these guys for 10 years now. They are incredible partners to partner with. And, as Esther just said, these handsome boys and girls in these rather fetching purple rugby shirts. These guys are from Prague City University. There are two teams. One is going to be assisting around the conference halls with microphones and various other things to support you. And the other team, the guys with the cameras, are from the creative media department, who know how cameras and videos will be taking lots of photographs, videos, and be interviewing people as well. So if they may well come up to you through the course of the 3 days and say, would you mind doing an interview with us? So this is very much an extension of their studies. All right, so we thought rather than sitting in the classroom, they can come and do it in real time. All right, and we're very grateful that they've all come to join us, and thanks to the senior people at PCU for going with us and making it happen. So thank you to them. Okay, oh yes, these things would never work without our wonderful partners. So a great welcome to all of them. You've seen all their stands and booths outside. Right, so we're always, I said, Credit Matters wouldn't function without our wonderful partners. We're going to be showcasing pretty well all of them over the next few days. We've got a tech debate coming up in a little while, and various other presentations that are showcasing everybody that's out there in the vendor section. What else we got? Let's see what else we got here. Oh yes, and just to continue with the technology side, because obviously that's going to be a running theme throughout our conference, because it's all about tech and AI and all those kind of things these days. We are really quite honoured that I think most of you know about the sort of the Gartner Magic Quadrants and so on, and the Hackett's equivalent. Well, 6 of the 9 names that are on there are right outside here. Right? So it's a unique opportunity. Those of you that are exploring, going on the technology voyage, right? That they are all right here, the vast majority of them. Okay, and talking of partners, on your badges, you'll have 2 badges, and there's a very special reason for that, and I'm going to hand that over to you, Esther.
So we always have a prize draw. This means that every single time you visit a sponsor stand, you'll get a sticker in return on their respective logos. On the last day of the conference, we're going to go around and collect these badges, and we're going to do a raffle. We have 13 prizes, plus 2. One of them is most active Eventure user, as always. The goal is to get all the stickers before the last refreshment break, and it's really worth participating. We have some cool prizes, so don't miss the opportunity to connect.
Such as? Give me one example.
Okay, drone.
A drone, there you are. And many others. There's 10, 12?
13.
13.
We have one too.
Credit Matters 13 prizes. And all you got to do is go to the vendors, get your stickers, talk to the vendors. Go and talk to them as well. And yes, and that's around lunchtime on Wednesday. Thank you. Okay, which leads us nicely into
Eventory. So most of you are familiar with Eventory, but by a show of hands, who's not? Oh, okay. Have you downloaded the app already? Yes, okay. So most of you are familiar with how to use it, right? Okay. Probably the most important thing is that every single session can be rated. So please do so, because at the end of the conference, we'll also give out a prize to the best rated session. There's also a functionality to ask live questions. So if you want to send in a question, please feel free to do so. Every single session has this possibility. So even if you're in a breakout session, feel free to do so. We'll be moderating the panel. And just really live with the opportunity to connect with people. And also, I'm going to mention at this point that it's worth checking out our partners on Eventory as well, because we have a quiz coming up that is exactly about our partners. So if you haven't done your homework, now's your opportunity to do it.
And the quiz is going to be tonight.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow. Right? And there will be, for the winner of the quiz, there will be a prize at the gala evening tomorrow.
Yeah.
And talking with the app, there will also be a partner prize, a sponsor prize on Wednesday for the person that is the most active on the app, Natalia.
Natalia, yeah. She's the one you have to beat.
So Natalia, yes, is the one you have to beat, right? So to be active on the app, it means to put in a response to all the presentations. There's a feedback form, yeah? And your comments and everything else that's available on the app. So yes, it's a very nice prize that we had just for using an app. I mean, how 21st century is that to actually be rewarded for actually using these apps? So it sounds damn good value to me. If you are stuck with the app, of course, please talk to Esther, right? And she will help you.
Absolutely.
And of course, none of this would happen without you guys. So thank you very much, all of you. So a big round of applause for yourselves. Thank you. More than 60 different companies represented. You come from 16 different countries. Some of you have come a long distance to be here. We never take it for granted, so we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, yes, okay. Yes, we have our breakout rooms. Okay, our breakout rooms are named Kepler, Tycho, and Meridian. This is the Meridian room. And Kepler and Tycho are the rooms next door to these handsome chaps. So we thought we'd have a little bit of a sort of a space and astrology theme as well going through the days. So when we get to the breakout sessions, please, if you're hearing 2 or 3 from a company, please kind of spread out. One of you go to each of the different sessions, so we've got a nice number of people in each room. Okay, so we look forward to. Would you excuse me a second? This is very embarrassing. Excuse me. Hello.
We are contacting you on behalf of Vodafone regarding an important financial matter. First, we need to verify your identity, okay?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. What's up? What?
Thank you. Is this Mark Harrison I'm speaking with?
Yeah, it is. But what can I do for you?
Thank you for confirming, Mark. I represent the collections department. This call will be recorded for quality and training purposes. Do you agree to continue with the recorded call?
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Thank you for agreeing, Mark. I appreciate your cooperation. Now, to ensure I'm speaking with the correct person, could you please confirm your full name and address?
Yeah, my name is Mark Harrison. I live in Danube Avenue, Budapest. Sorry, I'm really sorry.
Thank you. No problem at all, Mark. Thank you for providing that information. I appreciate your patience. Now, I'm calling regarding an outstanding balance of 342 euros. Would you be able to settle this amount today?
No, I can't. I'm really busy right now. I've got 150 people in front of me. I'm a little bit tied up right now. So no, now is not a good time. Sorry.
I understand, Mark. No problem at all. I can hear that you're very busy right now, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. Given your current situation, would you be interested in settling this amount in 4 installments instead? This might be more manageable for you.
Yeah, good idea, but not right now.
I completely understand, Mark. Thank you for considering the installment option. Since now isn't a good time, would you like to schedule a call back at a more convenient time for you? We can discuss the payment options when you're less busy.
Yeah, sure. Next Friday, the 17th of October at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your willingness to schedule a call back. I've noted your preferred time of Friday, October 17th at 2 p.m. We'll make sure to contact you then to discuss the payment options in more detail. Is there anything else you'd like me to know for that call?
No, that's fine. Thank you. Really must go. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Okay.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your time today. We'll call you back on Friday, October 17th at 2 p.m. as requested.
Splendid. Thank you. You too. Bye. I'm ever so sorry about that. However, that is kind of an example of AI in action, right? So that's kind of how chatbots are actually going to be coming into the credit world, right? So we're going to be showcasing that through our conference over the next couple of days as well. And I think it's incredibly exciting. We're talking about technology and talent and all the rest of it. So I think what's coming, all the AI and everything else that all our partners are talking about, I think this what you just heard, I think is very much the future, right? So I think it's incredibly exciting. Okay.
Just before we move on, Mark, one side note. In the Eventry app, when it comes to the breakout sessions, you'll see a little notepad icon on the top corner. That means that you need to sign up for the session. So as Mark said, if you're more than one representative for a company, please do so. Sign up for the session. It won't ask you for any additional information. You don't have to register again. Just click on the icon on the top and you're settled.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple more points before we conclude the welcome, and then I'll move into to my next session. You'll be sick to death of me by the break, because I'm here right the way through the break. There are good news.
Yeah.
Good news. At approximately 6 o'clock today, we have a happy hour. Brought to you by our friends Mega AI. Alright, so 6 o'clock outside. Yeah, that got you whooping and a hollering. Okay, good. And just one more thing. I was saying about everybody being here. There are 3 gentlemen that are here today that were actually with us at our very first conference way back in 2012. It was much smaller. It was like about 45 people came. So I'd just like to give a bit of a shout out to David Wilner. Are you here, sir? David Wilner. Grant Milton. And Richard Brown. So these three guys are with us at the very first conference. It was a little bit smaller than this, our first one, but we stayed friends and acquaintances ever since, so we're really grateful for that. And of course to everybody else. Many of you also have been friends with us for a long time. Okay, so that's pretty well most things.
Except, sorry, I have two things to mention.
That's
So one, you see I have a whistle. I will be using this during break times. It's very loud. I'm going to abuse it rather than use it. So if you hear me whistling, that means that you either have 10 minutes or 5 minutes left from the break. Please pay attention to it because we're trying to keep things on time. So if you hear it, please know that this is your cue to get your last drink and come to the rooms. Second of all, in case of a fire emergency, I always wanted to do this, Kuba and me are your allocated fire emergency people. We have 6 emergency exits, 2 in the back, 2 on the side, 2 on the other side of the room. We don't have the lights, no, but we have the green boxes on top of the doors, so you can follow those. That's it from me. Please have a good time. If anybody has any health issues, then please come and find me. If you have any questions, my team is at your disposal. And I wish you a great stay and a great experience. Thank you.
We want our conference to be very interactive, and you see we're walking around this rather natty catwalk, and I've got this black box in my hand. What the hell is that? This is what is called a catch box. This is a microphone which you throw around. Right? Its nickname is Chucky for all of you into the horror genre. So, Mr. Mayhew, will you test it out for me? Say hello, how are you? Welcome or something.
Good afternoon, everybody.
There you go. And you throw it back to me. Oh, there's the old rugby training coming in there. And I throw it to you, sir, and you say...
Hi, everybody.
There you go. So let's not be shy. Let's use these, okay? So everyone's going, oh my God, he's looking at me, he's looking at me. So, all right. So yes, so say hello to Chucky, right? And we will be using this through the conference as well. Okay, so... Thank you. Okay, on to the next part of today. So this is my bit now. So we'll just complete all of these. Yes, also we've got our awards coming up. Okay, so that's tomorrow night. Have our thanks to our judges who are also here. Tomorrow night also we have a casino evening. All right, we have a casino evening in here. Yes, you clap, please, whoop, holla, all that. Yes. And we'll skip over that. We'll come back to that a lot later. Okay. So we'll move on now to the next bit. Oh, actually, there's one thing I would like to share with you now as we're moving into the next part of the presentation. Is one of the things we started doing. We started collaborating with the University of West London. Okay, and these guys will tell you why.
Hello, I'm Miriam, Dean of the Clock and the Business School at the University of West London. I'm Dr. Yanni Domenis, Senior Lecturer and Course Leader for the MSc Finance and Risk Management course with me here. We're delighted to be rolling out soon a collaborative research project under Fresh Minds in Business programs at Clock and the Business School with Mark Harrison at Callisto. Mark is an alumnus of the University of West London and graduated with a Bachelor Honours degree in Credit Management in 2010. When Mark approached us with an innovative and compelling research project idea focusing on return on investment and cost models in shared services, we were so excited.
It is our pleasure to share that we're planning to commence this collaborative project in early 2025, and our research team will soon be extending invitations for your participation in the project, exploring ways to optimize business service models, which promises to deliver valuable insights into enhancing value added in business services. We regret that we're not able to be with you in Prague this October, But we very much look forward to seeing you at the Callisto Grand Forum on March 20th, 2025, here at the University of West London.
Enjoy Credit Matters XIII.
Okay. Now, yes, so that's my university. I graduated in 2010 with a degree in credit management, and over the last about the last 12 months or so, I've kind of reconnected with the uni. I've been doing some work with them. They had an alumni awards evening, and I was honoured to be a judge, and going to be doing some guest presentations, but also, as they said, this research project, which we think is very important. And the reason why we're sharing it here is because we're asking that many of you will participate in the research, because we want to look into things that have probably never been looked at before. All right, you know, we talk a lot about shared services and the value, the cost models, and all the things that you're exposed to on a day-to-day basis, but we want to kind of go lower, deeper, right, really deeper into the research, right, and challenge some of these kind of expectations and myths and so on, perhaps that have arisen around the shared service centre model. So we're going to kick that off early in the next year, and so we'll be writing out to many of you to ask if you would kindly participate. Okay, and there's a huge coincidence to that, as it says here, the good news, right? I remember those of you who were here last year said that we were going to change the Credit Matters format, and you're here now probably thinking, well, you didn't really change the Credit Matters format. No, we didn't. We made it a bit bigger, but we didn't kind of change it a great deal in terms of the program, the content, and our vision, and so on. But we're going to, from here on in, it's going to be a little bit different, starting with, in March the 20th next year, we're going to start doing our first conference in London. Right? So we're going to be taking this model, one-day thing, but we're going to be going to London March the 20th. So those of you who are UK-based or fancy a couple of days in London, the event is actually going to be at the University of West London, which is in, as it says, in West London, near Ealing, Brentford Way. It's a very nice building. Alumni, apart from me, I have to say, other famous people who went there. Some guy who used to sing for the band called Queen. Can't remember his name. Do you think of his name? Freddie Mercury. And for the younger people, Pete Townsend of The Who as well. They also went there, and lots of other famous people as well. Right. So it's a well-established university. And then the other good news. Of course, we couldn't leave Credit Matters behind. It's been our baby for many years now. Credit Matters will be returning next year in Q4 to Budapest. Okay, thank you. So we're going to be back in Budapest, which is very handy because that's about 500 metres from my front door now, because I've moved to Budapest recently, so that's very handy for me too. But we're going to be there next year. Okay, so here we go. On to the next, the next part of the presentation. Now, we're going to talk more about the solution partnering, Callisto, how we believe that we can, together, we can transform our world from what it is to something even better. Music. You want to stand up in front of the minute? After last, stand up. Come on. Get up for a minute. Go on, girls. 3 minutes of exercise. Let's go. you're probably thinking, what the hell was that about, right? So, there's a credit conference, a finance conference. Yeah, but you see, we kind of like what we do, and sometimes kind of see things from our perspective, and there's so much more opportunity, so many brilliant things we can do. There's so much potential still in the shared service centre world, and I suppose we're playing there was a bit of irony, because that's where we don't want to go. We don't want to go on the highway to hell. Right? We want to go the other way. I don't know what the opposite song is. I couldn't think of one that was the opposite. Sorry? Stairway to Heaven. Now, why didn't I ask you earlier? But yes, that kind of good. We'll do that tomorrow. But that's about 20 minutes long, isn't it? With eating to the conference. So, but nice one. Okay. I feel I'm knackered now. All right. Okay, so we'll tell you a little bit about Callisto. For those of you who have not been with us before, people often ask, like, why are you called Callisto Grand? Right? Why are you not an association of something or an institute or something like that? And we used to be in the past, but now we are Callisto Grand, and this is why. The idea came to me about 3 or 4 years ago, because my grandfather had a houseboat on the canal in West London. All right, and that was my first home actually when I was born, and but also that's where I spent many summer holidays with my grandparents. There's my granddad on the left, there's my grand at the back, there's my mom on top. I think my dad was taking the picture about 1954. I wasn't in it, in case anybody's asking, but I am in the other one. That's me, the little one with the hat on. That's me. Exactly. Thank you. Yes. So that's where Callisto came from. The grand bit is nothing more grandiose than it's the Grand Union Canal. It's not saying that we're awesome or fantastic or anything. It's the waterway is the Grand Union Canal that runs from Birmingham to London. Okay, so this is us. This is what we're going to be talking about for the next half an hour or so. Talent and technology the Callisto way, which is perhaps a bit different to the conventional way. So I think let's start with this. Our jobs, all of us, we are responsible for the single most important. We're responsible for trade receivables, which is, as it says here, the biggest, the most important, the most complex, the most expensive if you don't treat it right. It's your biggest, most important asset in every company. Right? That makes us kind of rather important. 80 to 90% of world trade involves some form of credit. Right? So it's not like it's just something that happens occasionally. It's every minute of every day, everywhere. But there are a number of challenges and obstacles to success. And you all see them every day. You quote them, most of these, every day. And this is why when you Google projects and failures and all that, depending on what aspect you're looking at, somewhere between sort of 36 and 75% of all projects fail. The projects that these guys outside are implementing or offering to you as well. And I believe, or we believe, the reason largely is attrition, the high turnover of people. So our proposition is we look at things from a different way. Like I said, we're going to look at things the Callisto way. So we look at all sorts of other areas how we can improve, but we never really look at this bit. We're going to explore this, and here are some of the reasons why we have these obstacles, these challenges. We can't quite get to where we want to get to. This is the biggest one. Are you all familiar with this horrible term? Yeah? EBITDA. Yeah? Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. I don't know what most of those things are, but apparently people make them important. Top-down budgets. Senior people who are not connected to us will say, yeah, here you are, you've got 100 people in credit. I'm going to be generous this year, and I'll give you 50 euros each. And that's true, that's happened. I've heard that said. I know, 50 euros each. And then there's this. This is also one of the problems. Management experience, perhaps. I think there's a lot of learning that can be done for everybody. There's still a lot of things that we can all gather in terms of knowledge. And then there's this. This is a bit of a problem. You're getting into a bit of a picture for me here. Aligning training as well, to actually have the right training. And I'll talk about these things later. The right training, upskilling, development for what we need to manage the biggest single asset in the company. Yeah, there's this thing. This really bugs me, as you might be picking up now. Silos and organizations as well. There's still, we were talking about it earlier today, still a lot of silos. The business still kind of dominates a lot of what we do. We're not allowed really to take total end-to-end ownership of these things, right? And it's very important that we do. What do you reckon the next one is?
EBITDA.
EBITDA! Louder, everybody. What is it?
EBITDA.
Now let's make this our mantra, and when you go back to your offices on Thursday, let's fight it, right? Let's say, no, we're not going to accept it anymore, right? We're not going to accept it, right? Because it is restricting what we're trying to do. And target setting, it's interesting how so many organizations don't always have a target, not actually kind of quite clear where they're going, right? And so, yeah. Okay, so EBITDA, this is it. So this is our mission, okay. ABSL, Czech Republic, I think comes from. This is everything they want to achieve. And it's all good stuff, it's all noble stuff, and this is what we all want to achieve, right? We want to accelerate the digital transformation, reduce costs, increase automation, but, and we want to upgrade our talent, right? We really want to help our people execute a talent upgrade plan, expand the innovation efforts, establish end-to-end process ownership, and so on. Yet, and these are all the right things. These are the things that should always be in place. But the biggest problem is EBITDA. Let's keep those costs down. So we'll talk this. So this hand says, yeah, I want all that. And this hand says, can't do it, sorry. Budget. Okay. So it's kind of a bit of a paradox. The same people that are saying they want this are then saying you can't go to a conference, budget cuts, travel restrictions, can't go, sorry, etc. And we made a movie about this. Some of you might have seen it before, but it's been a little bit upgraded. So 3 or 4 minutes now, so if anyone wants to relax for a couple of minutes, it's movie time.
Air from 4. Briefly, CFO, so that's early, so for lots of rain. I copy that much very much. And here on the 31. So sorry, I'll be the greatest man for helpful. It's a fire station with a bunch of discovery and lots of people. Here on the air for sorry.
Maya to ground control. Do you copy?
Affirmative. Go ahead.
Houston, we have a problem.
We are not in Houston.
I think she knows that. She's talking to me. I'm Houston.
But you are not ground control.
No, I'm credit control. This is a Credit Matters mission after all, remember?
Oh, fair enough. Go ahead.
Thank you. This is Houston speaking. Please report your problem.
We are being dragged miles of course by unidentified forces. It feels like some kind of non-value added gravity.
Okay, hold on. I need to call the other mission. Head of mission to ground control. Head of mission to ground control on the level.
Houston, do we have a problem?
Seems like our crew is dealing with a very serious situation. They're not going to reach mission objectives and they don't understand why.
I see. Let me handle this.
Go ahead.
This is head of mission. Can you confirm your readouts, please?
Staff development budget, very low. Technology investment, very low. Long-range strategy planning, only 12 months maximum. Attrition is rising. What can we do?
At this rate, we are never going to fulfill our mission.
This situation is always a possibility.
This is not good.
I can see the negative gravity that's holding you back. You're going to have to move the shuttle into a different trajectory.
But sir, it may not be safe.
We have to take the risk. But the good news is we have the formula for going galactic. And here in ground control, we have many of the world's leading specialists with us who will help us to accomplish the mission. Stand by, we're defying gravity.
Roger that.
Okay, so we, as you said, we wrote that, we made that 6 years ago. In 2018 we made that, because even then the challenges and so on that, by the way, you see the hairline changed a bit in that time. Yeah, 6 years ago, it's kind of still relevant because all the challenges that we're talking about now, EBITDA, and all those aspirations were all being reported by these analytic companies so many years ago. Every SSC was saying they wanted to achieve certain things, yet we were talking about it then. And so many years later, we still seem to be having the same frustrations. Right? So I thought it was worthwhile kind of rehashing our film there. So I hope you liked it, by the way. And okay, so next up, so and it still does. It does still just illustrate those points, that the lack of investment. You saw it on all the dashboards there. So and when we talk about the EBITDA and all these restrictions that are placed upon us, I came across this a couple of months ago. This I was on LinkedIn, and this is by Simon Sinek. Have you all heard of Simon Sinek? Yeah, many of you have. He's a really good kind of leadership guru and so on. And every now and again he posts something that I think is really worthwhile. So he said this. He said, a culture is strong when people work with each other for each other. And yeah, absolutely, that's nothing wrong with that. We're all pulling in the same direction. And a culture is weak when people work against each other for themselves. And this really kind of resonated with me. And then there was like 50,000 comments going, yeah, rock on, Simon, absolutely agree. Right? But no, it seemed to me that nobody really kind of thought what that actually meant. Right? It was just another leadership phrase that on LinkedIn they come through like every 5 minutes. There's some inspirational quote. But go a bit further down. Right? And I asked the question. I posted this, right? and I asked this question. I got quite a few responses. Can it be argued that working against each other means is like when senior executives prioritise profits and dividends and EBITDA over investing in you guys, investing in the technology, investing in your training, investing in your hardware and so on? so many businesses are reluctant to spend small amounts in upskilling. And we talk about this from our perspective. Our certificate program, €500 a person, can't do that, EBITDA, freezes, da 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 da. So many people are not here because of travel bans. Even companies in Prague are not here because of travel bans, right? Couldn't afford a tram fare across town. So this is where it starts, right? People working against themselves, the senior executives, are sort of making sure the investors get theirs. Millions and billions and millions, profits going to investors. We've already got billions, but that money is not kind of cascading down to us. Now, I don't want to sound like some kind of revolutionary, well, perhaps a little bit, but this is our problem, really. This is our problem. We have to change the thinking, right? Because when we spend money on training, technology, whatever, and we're talking about EBITDA, well, the T in EBITDA is tax, right? Now, 25% or so of the cost of whatever it is you either pay tax to the government or you buy something, right? So the headline cost is basically 25% cheaper, if you think about it, right? So we need to start challenging, getting people to think like that, pushing back, and offering alternative arguments. I was also moving on to talking about experience and so on. Now, this probably reflects kind of how sad I am. This is my working life in interest rates. Okay, some people do music and other things, literature. I charted my life in interest rates. How exciting is that? And inflation. So starting work around about 45 years ago, the 5th of November 1979, in the UK, and this was the same pretty well across Europe. I was talking about the UK, but most other places too. Interest rates, you can see, inflation, 17%, 15%, and so on, stayed very high all through the 80s and the 90s. And then we got into the 2000s, and we had the crash in 2008 and so on. And then we had this period, 2010 to 2020, where interest rates were virtually zero. Now that's a good thing, but not being critical, but how many of you entered the workplace between 2010 and 2020? Put your hands up. All you young people. Me. Yes, and the two gentlemen at the back here, I know, so you yeah. So many people entered the workplace in that time, and so didn't really know any different, right? They didn't come through the 80s, the 90s, and so on, and so didn't really have that experience, right? So the senior executives, if your overdues went up to 10, 15, 20, 25%, so what? We'll borrow the money, it doesn't cost anything. We'll borrow it from the bank for a few days, pay the wages, etc. Who cares? I've had people say to me, senior people I think should know better, but CFOs, not that bothered about working capital. Have you ever heard that? Yeah, that's scary, eh? CFOs are not bothered about working capital. Now, I don't know about you, but CFO, the F stands for, well, I think it stands for finance. It stands for other things in this context, but I think it stands for finance, yeah? So Chief Financial Officer. Now, in my simple rationale, finance, at the end of the day, for all you messing about with your EBITDA and your tax and depreciation and whatnot, it's money in, money out, right, isn't it? At the end of the day, money in, money out. You can call it a million things, but simply that's what it is. So we have a whole generation of people that haven't really experienced this. And now we're going back into that, right? You can see there's a kind of a lack of awareness of how to deal. Volatility is actually the norm, right? As you can see in this model, that period, that decade was the outlier. What either side of it is normal. So this is your future, everybody. This is how it is. This is reality. Right? And all you're seeing, the wars and all these other horrible disruptions going on, that's probably the way it's going to be for a long time. So as credit people, we've got to be responding to this, which is why we need the technology and the training and the upskilling and the credit risk and the debt collection agencies and all the partners that we have outside this door, and ourselves to get as much knowledge as we possibly can, right, so that we can deal with these things. because it ain't what it used to be, and it ain't going to be that way again. Okay, so back to my old chum. Targets. We were talking about targets. So, and we were saying about the black and white imagery that we're doing. Simple. In our world, if we aim for 2.5% of excellence, or 2.5% as excellence in these 4 things. Attrition, so we get our turnover rates really low, single figures. Our overdues down to 2.5% or less. So we aim to collect everything that's actually contractually agreed to be paid. Credit notes versus invoices, so we get the invoices right first time. Right? If we get the invoices right first time, we stand a much better chance of getting paid on time. And unapplied cash likewise, right? If the money is allocated properly, then we know what's left to be collected and so on. Right? 4 targets, right? All at 2.5%. We aim for them, right? And then we know where we're going. Which brings me to my other bugbear. Those of you who know me well, or know me, I'm kind of going around Europe creating a paranoia of saying this word. I don't like this word, right? Because as it says here, the definition is of this J thing, I can't say. If you're going on one of them, it's an act of travelling from one place to another. Right? You're starting here and you're going here. You definitely know where you are and you definitely know where you're going. That's one of them. But this word gets thrown around so often that it's kind of lost its significance. And that's what I was saying about targets. How can you go on one of those if you don't actually know what you want your overdues to be, what your level of excellence really is, right? What your DSO is. We were talking earlier today, so many collectors and so on don't even know what DSO is. Right? They don't know what it means, don't know what it stands for, don't understand its significance. So, and all these shared service centres are going on lots of these J things, but without really knowing where they're going. Incidentally, if you want to use descriptive words, there are 47 synonyms for this word. Right? Now, I hope I've made you nervous about using this. Those of you who are presenting over the next couple of days, you're about to rewrite the presentations, right? You've got to take this word out. So, but yeah, and the reason why we say this is, let's think about what we're actually saying. Let's just, we want to have success. Let's go on one of these J things, but let's kind of really think about where it is that we're actually going. When will we know that we've got there? Right? That's the thing, right? And moving on, we're coming back to the attrition. Now in Central Europe, the attrition rates are something like 16%. Right? So this is in Czech Republic, certainly Latvia, where I was a few days ago. Now what this means, in reality, 16% attrition rate, steady turnover. Right? That's one thing. Well, that's what it means in reality. Right? 16% of people are under notice, 16% of people are probably thinking of being under notice, 16% of people have just joined, and 16% are shadowing the 16% that have just joined. So 64% of people are not working at full production because of attrition. And when you go lower than that, as I'll show shortly, we have all these phrases. Right? Quiet quitting, loud quitting. It's quitting. People leave because they're not happy. Right? It doesn't matter how you describe it. We shouldn't be happy. This is not something to be particularly accepting of, I would say. And then we look at, I was talking about silos and organisations. Right? This is how it should look. This is an end-to-end joined up credit function, right? Because credit starts the minute you buy raw materials. So everything's joined up here, billing, disputes, collections, cash, risk, etc. All joined up, one manager. Right? And this is global, by the way, or regionally. So this would be Europe, right? So everything in Europe reports to one person. Ultimately, everything in the world reports to one person. So you've got a culture, you've got an identity, you've got an objective, you've got a reason, you've got a target. As opposed to something like this, which is the opposite. This is bad practice. And this is an extreme where every part of what you call O2C and so on is reporting to different line managers, but if any one part of the O2C cycle is reporting to somebody other than that central manager, it's doomed to failure. Right? It cannot possibly work. Okay, so, okay. Did you get your picture? I think someone's taking a picture there. Kuba, the countdown clock has stopped. I'll be here till about 4 o'clock. Okay, so let's start to think about other aspects to this, right? So what we need to be successful, we need business acumen. So we need to understand the business. We need to understand data, what it really means, where it comes from, where it starts, what happens when it's in front of me, where does it go next. To have a strategic mindset, and I'm talking about the shared services here, so this is why I say we're busting silos, right? We're getting away from that. We're thinking about really being a critical part of the business. To be agile and change orientation, and agile doesn't mean working more hours, by the way. To be creative and innovative, to be allowed to see a problem, to actually get involved in the fixing of those problems, right from the beginning, irrespective of your pay code. You know, somebody who's been there for 2 months in cash allocation, encourage them to be part of this. Leadership starts the day you join the company. It doesn't start when you become a manager. Leadership starts the very first day you start work. And all of these kind of build relationship management. Okay, how to talk to each other. So, in ABSL Czech Republic, staying with nutrition and so on, ABSL Czech Republic earlier this year posted a positive thing that the average retention in shared services in this country has gone up to 3.9 years. It's gone up 4 months compared to 2022. Whoopie-doos, woohoo! Yeah, fantastic. However, what it doesn't say is that the people have, within that 3.9 years, your employees have something like 3 or 4 jobs in that time. So they're moving like every 8 or 9 months. Right? So that's kind of not really a building platform, right, to get to the success we want to get to. So, on. And then it was interesting, I was at this event in Latvia a few days ago, and it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I learned so much. And they were saying that they're having to look outside of Latvia for skills. Now, IT and language skills I can understand. But the rest of it, in our area, AP, GL, etc., they were kind of saying we haven't got those people either. And I'm saying you have. They're all right here. You've already employed them, but you're not training them right. You're not investing. You're not doing this long-term thinking. You're not seeing it as a career in credit. You're not seeing it as a career in accounts payable. Not sure if there is a career in accounts payable, but we call it the dark side. Right? Well, apparently there is. There are people that worked in it for a long time, but seriously, my belief is that the talent is there. We've already got the people. What we need to think about is how we can really upskill them better. Right? How we can get more people like me and John and David and Brad at the back there and other people that have been doing this for 40 years and so on. There must be a reason why we do this for a long time. And here's another one. This was really interesting as well. Again, this is what's being offered in the shared service centre world. Right? So many companies are offering soft skills, which is emotional intelligence, social communication, managerial coaching, project management, and all these kind of things, which are all good. But I don't understand how you can do that if you don't understand the basics. Right? How can you be a leader? How can you be a manager if you don't know what DSO is, or bad debt provision, or all that stuff? So, and when it came to the finance, it was really an eye-opener. The financial training, and these are all brilliant things as well. You know, when we grow up, we want to be as big as SEMA, right? We want to be a global organisation, recognised like SEMA. But they're offering SEMA, CIA, ACCA, GAAP, IFRS. These are great, but are they useful for you? If somebody offered you a SEMA course, would it help in your career in credit? Would it help? I said you can go do an IFRS course for the next 6 months. Would that help you in credit and collections? So you see there, the spirit is willing, and the intentions are right, but the knowledge, the understanding that there are companies like us and other brands are available, right? But we won't dwell on them. But the thing is, it's the wrong training, right? It's not the right training. Right? The leadership stuff comes later, right? When you work your way up, right? And then you can do these Franklin Covey and all the rest of them, right? But you've got to have a really good understanding. Okay. And all that kind of kicks into emotional intelligence, right, which is soft skills and tech skills, but mainly plus knowledge and experience. Right, so, okay. Let's move on. And we are talking about, when we talk about end-to-end business, understanding it all, right? So we kind of, we call this the credit multiverse. All right, so the multiverse is a series of universes, right? Small universes that all come together to make one multiverse. And this is end-to-end business. This is understand all those 6 tenets that we spoke about earlier. This is then, right, in kind of our action. And credit, all of us, credit management to us is O2C, I2C, B2C, Q2C, R2C, whatever to see, it's all credit. Because every job you have is because you trade on credit. Right? So those O2C thingy-bobs are basically a series of silos. And all these activities, management, customers, compliance, finance, AP, GL, HR, all of these things are all happening because your company wants to sell stuff and sell it on credit. Right? So that makes us the most important department in the whole company. Right? All of us, all of us, all of us, all of us. Okay, so to kind of wrap up, I'm not quite sure how I'm doing for time, so the clock stopped for a moment, I'm not sure where we are, but I'm sure, I've got 6 minutes left, splendid, thank you. Okay, so how do we get to being excellent, right? How do we get excellent projects, digitization? How do we achieve this talent retention stuff? How do we become subject matter experts? Why isn't what we do or what we can do part of employer branding? So let's start with a few myths. Right, let's get a few things off the table here. Gen Z, X, Y, A minus, whatever we are now, is not the problem. Right? These people change jobs because we put them into boring, repetitive, transactional silos. So you're going to move on. Right? It's not the fault of the young people. If it's anything, it's the fault of my generation because we created this environment. Right? And people are only going to respond to what they're given. So it's not them. The other one is when it comes to things like training and so on, and personal development, coming to our coffee clubs, credit clinics, events like this. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the time to do that. Too busy, I haven't got the time. But you don't have to Google far to find that all of us, including me, apparently we spend something like 4 hours a day on the internet, not working, just looking on the internet, right? But we do have time. Oh, did I hit a nerve there? So we do have the time, but managers are telling their people, they're too busy, they've got projects to do, they can't possibly work on a project in the office time and study something as well. How insulting is that? So I don't think the employees a lot of the time actually even get to know there's an opportunity. Because certain managers say, it's a curse, it's something they mustn't do, it's too much for them. Okay, other things. Do the qualifications first, do the learning before you do these projects. It's a critical part. You have to know what you're doing so you can be successful. There's a great career to be had. And here's one. Team building exercises they don't build teams. Honestly, they really don't. It's a box ticking exercise. It doesn't. Going to the pub, bowling, cooking, whatever, nice things to do. Does it change your attrition rates? You've all done team building exercises. Have your turnover rates changed because you've been out, done something? No. Team building only really happens when you succeed. You build teams through adversity. You've got 25% overdue today. you've got 3 months to fix it. By Christmas time, you reduce it to 10%. Right? You work every hour there is, and you do this. That's how you build a team. That's why I've been doing this for 40 years, because I love doing that sort of thing. It gives me a sense of purpose. I've got a target. I'm going somewhere. And finally, another one of my favourite bugbears, ping pong tables don't impress anybody. Right? Ping pong tables, chill out rooms, all of that. No. As somebody says, I didn't say it, somebody else said it when this came up the other day. They're playing ping pong, they ain't working. Right? And you're, oh, we're going to have a quick game of ping pong. No, like in the core collection time, 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I think I'll go and have a game. Because they came, what? These are not good things. Well, they're good things, but they have to be in the right time. So, how do we go forward? So here's our kind of playbook, if you like, of how we're going to go forward from here. This is very much our theme of the conference, right? So challenge everything, ask questions. You know, don't accept anything for what it was before. Right? So let's get into the solutions. Right? The first one, I suppose, really, let's do the anti-EBITDA. Right? Let's do the opposite of the top-down budgets. You say what you want. Right? Now, I want to train all my people through Callisto Grand, and it costs this much. Or one of the other training companies that are out there. Right? You know, but you say, now is the time. This is the time of year to do that. Set your targets high. You know you can go for this 2.5%. And the main one is if you go for getting your overdues down to 2.5%, just getting most of your customers to pay when they contractually say they're going to pay. Right? We're on our way then, and everything else pulls in behind it. Okay, let's get away from the silos. So where you've still got the business controlling some of the things that you do, start to have the conversation. Why can't we do it? Let's phase it in. 2025, we will bring the credit risk into the centre. We'll bring the billing into the centre, whatever else. Right? That's what shared service centres were meant to be. When they started 40 years ago, this is what they were meant to be. Not just cost-cutting exercises, because all the CEOs now are starting to say, oh, he ain't done very well. No, he ain't done very well because you've been cutting the cost for 20 years. Right? That's why. Except that people don't know what they don't know, even the most senior people. Establish a company culture where you are the leaders. Right? We are going to own this, genuinely own this. Do the long-term planning and the investment. Engage everybody in the projects. Right from the most junior people, get them involved in the planning and the prep. Develop clear career paths. Upskill everybody, relevant training, you can read all this, and I'll share these with you later. And let's get out. Let's go to site visits, client visits. That's where we really learn stuff, right? Not sitting in our nice shiny offices. We've got to get out, go see our customers, see what they really do. Right? That's where the magic is. That's where the interest is. That's where the growth is. And that's where when you say, well, I want to go see some customers in France or Germany or the UK or Italy, the first answer you'll get is no. Thank you. So then you'll say, well, no, this is part of my development. Right? This is really important. Right? So that's how we fight these things. And yes, a little bit of Callisto promoting, as we are the solution partners. If you're not quite sure, engage external experts, bring in coaches and mentors and so on, and don't be afraid to work with them. Again, it's going to cost a little bit, but it's important stuff. So let's finish there, because I'm just on time now. I'll just whiz through that lot. We'll talk about this later. All right, so that's it really. So that's this is us, right? We're going to achieve talent and technology excellence together, right? I know we're probably ruffled a few feathers, but that's what Callisto's about, right? We're not just about going down the conformity road. You know, we want to change things. We want to turn things upside down a little bit. We want to disrupt. I think that's the sexy word, isn't it? So here we go then. So welcome to Credit Matters XIII, and thank you for now. You're going to be fed up with me because in a couple of minutes I'm going to be back again moderating this next session, right? But I'm going to take a quick break. So gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen from the panel, if you come and join me please. So there's 7 of you, so make yourselves comfy and I'll be right back.